I feel like I'm in a little bit of a midlife crisis in that way, where it's like I've been putting so much effort into trying to make films, trying to be a director, trying to do this and that, and I have had some success, but also like I'm looking into the future and being like, what's this industry going to be like in 5 years? What's it going to be like in 10 years? And should I be like thinking about changing something now before it's like I spend another 10 years doing it and then realize, and it's even more too late to like make an adjustment or something, or maybe not, I don't know. But yeah,
I've had similar thoughts in the same vein, but if the apocalypse happens, who am I going to shack up with? Directors or doctors?
Actors.
You know?
They pretend to stitch you up.
Actors can be anything you want them to be.
Like sometimes I'll lay in my bed and I'm like, how useful will I be? What skills do I have? And that's how
you built this place, didn't you?
That's interesting.
So it's just like, but yeah, but that's my point. I'm not going to go find a digital marketer when shit hits the fan and go, all right.
What if shit doesn't hit the fan to play?
Then we're fine. Then this is all
it's all good.
Fugazi.
Well, I mean, it's not by the time when we're recording this podcast, or when you're recording this podcast.
Oh yeah, I haven't hit record yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's so many strikes happening in the States, SAG, WGA, and we have an actor.
Not the DGC.
Shout out to the director.
DGA.
Still out there
Yeah,
taking
DGA.
the dirty money.
But even us here in Canada, we have a commercial strike. It's horrible. It's over 500 days at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So you think about it, our industry is challenged greatly right now, especially with the evolution of AI in creating content. Mm-hmm. So I think it's very...
I love the word content. It's one of my favorite words.
Isn't it so interesting? Content creator.
It just also content just means like verb. Like it's just like a thing.
It's become thing. It's become the like...
Yeah.
What's that word? Like spark word, keyword?
Like when people a few years ago were like quarterly projection synergy.
Buzzword, yeah.
Buzzword, yeah.
It's the buzzword of now, it feels like. Everyone creates content. Content is king. Content is... have you noticed someone says content is queen?
I saw a commercial. Shout out to Barbie. Go see it. Christian saw it 75 times.
Oh my
Learned
God.
a lot.
That movie was great.
I did love it. We all did love it. We did see it a couple times. But I saw a commercial the other day, and it had, like Peter, truck driver. It was like Cynthia, content creator. It was like, I'm like, oh, this is just like a normal job now you're using to relate to people?
Insane.
Even like filmmakers, Blake and I...
Do you know any?
Yeah, not anymore. I know content creators. I got an email that instead of saying filmmakers, they changed it this year to, hey, content creators. So it's like, even your film is just content.
Yeah.
That's so diminishing.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And then the whole thing with HBO Max and them changing, like, did you hear about that with the credits?
No.
You would turn on a film on HBO Max, and you know how they have like director, writer, all the credits? It just says content creators and then like a list of, or like create.
Wow.
Yeah. Content,
not even
content
separated.
creators, not even separated, not director, writer, etc., etc. It's just like a block of people's names.
That's good for me. I shot some stuff at the gym today. I'm
You're
right
now
up there
the
with
director of,
content creators.
You may win an Academy Award.
Darcy,
You're the director
Scorsese,
of yes.
All content
Levinson.
creators.
That's right. Yeah. It's
That's stupid.
But I think it's the connotation of like the negativity of that word, right? Like it does feel diminishing, and then I think that's why people are sensitive about it.
It's just so
like,
broad.
It's broad and it's fleeting.
Give
Content
them
feels
the
like it's a
credit
3-second clip
they
on
deserve.
TikTok.
Get it out there. Get another one out there.
Yeah.
Which is...
How do you find, because you were fairly early into the YouTube shift that's been happening. Blake and I have been talking about it recently as well, but I found that like 5 years ago even, to be a YouTuber was like exclusively a Logan Paul or like a vlogger. It was a very different thing. And people who put their stuff on YouTube, it was not like where now every comedian is putting their special on YouTube. Everyone's running traffic to YouTube. Like, I think YouTube's almost becoming a better place because there's no gatekeeper. It's not like a studio, like, having to get your show. If you want a show, you can make it. This podcast, it's permissionless in the sense that good and bad, you can just hit upload and it's there. But I don't know. I'm finding, have you noticed that in the last 2 years you guys have been doing with your channel that like it's shifting? Or
I think it's I think creating content, YouTube, TikTok, Reels, whatever, is the new sort of way to keep up. Like it's the new promotion.
do you think it's what doing a play was 15 years
Yeah.
ago?
So like for instance, I have a couple friends who are stand-ups, and they say if you don't have like your sets online, you do not get people at your show.
Yeah.
Like the whole like currency now is and most of the time it's crowd work because you don't want to burn your actual set. So it's like if you don't get crowd work online, people are not gonna come see your show. Matt Rife got huge just from posting his crowd work.
I met Matt Rife like 6 years ago in LA, just at like a mic.
Yeah.
And it's been surreal to watch in the last 2 years. He's got the second biggest show after Taylor Swift, selling out 600,000 seats.
He's opening for Chappelle?
Is he? Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, he's an arena comedian now, all from filming, putting it on TikTok. Like,
dude, none of his material. It's all crowd work.
Which is great because then you save it for the show.
Exactly. So people are new. It's new every time.
Or even Andrew Schultz, he put his stand-up special on. Like, these guys, whether you like their comedy or not, have kind of kicked the door open for other people to kind of make their own destiny.
Well, they've sort of made the bar. They've sort of wrote or been a part of creating the line of which someone told me that they've only heard of me because of some of the quick videos I make online, and they're like, I love everything you do. I'm like, you have no idea about what I do, but the fact that you saw me do one funny thing, now I'm in their head as very funny.
But it's validating in the sense that what I like about this stuff with the internet, if you do a killer improv show or a killer stand-up set, the 50 people who saw it that night may have loved it, but beyond that room, it doesn't live.
Yeah.
But by putting it on the internet, someone may find that video 9 months from now in the middle of the night and have a laugh. It's like you're talking about your kid and legacy. It's like you're able to access more people through the work you did one day. I don't know. I think that's really cool. Or you can watch The Godfather or whatever movie right now on Netflix.
Yeah, I think we have to understand, like, I think the filmmaker content creator thing is really interesting because content creator, they still did it. They still made it. As much as filmmakers, like there's a longer process into making even a short film versus a feature film. Like some people years, some months. Sometimes you just pick up a thing, me and you shoot a TikTok and it gets more views than that film ever would in its entirety. Right. So it's like there's a disdain for content itself. I think the topic of content creation is just so fleeting and nonsense. But I think to create something, it's how people are digesting things now. It's how people are ingesting. So like we as a society have to recognize that this is new currency. Like you can make a film and be excited about it and be eager to share it, and I will myself. But like you also have to understand and not put down the people who have realized what's true in the world right now, how people are taking things in, and go, okay, I can't be jaded because I just didn't do it as fast as those kids. It's like, honor what's happening, do what you want to do. But like I find when people go like, yo, screw that dude who just, I'm like, man, like he did it.
It's way easier to say, oh, fuck that person that's embarrassing that stuff they made while you're sitting at home not doing anything.
And watching their stuff on quick, like
and
repeat,
resenting them
for
being
like,
successful.